Hi, I'm Randy Reed, editor of the Edison Report. We are here at LEDucation 2023, and I am joined by Leela Shanker, who has several titles. I want to see if I can get this right. She is a lighting designer with Borealis, and she is the founder of the
Lifecycle Assessment Incubator
with the GreenLight Alliance.
Yes.
And let's start with that because you had an event last night, I heard, and I heard it went well. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Thanks, Randy. We were just gathering a number of the actual manufacturers and designers who are on board who have participated over the last 6 months in our first pilot year of testing what it is to try and do life cycle assessment of a luminaire and look at our lighting designs from the lens of actually what happens before and after our fixtures are in a building. So it was a wonderful coming together of some of these brave people who have decided to investigate an area that's all very new, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I want to just congratulate you on the tremendous success that you've achieved, and I believe it was 2 years ago, you and I sat right here with Mary Beth Gotti, and you were kind of laying out some of this, and now it's just incredible to see the success that you've achieved.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and you were part of that dialogue starting to get out into the industry, so thank you to you too.
So we visited a booth this morning by the name of Lightly, and everything is made out of wood, and they want to lead the industry in sustainability. What is your thought about companies like that that are just specializing in this?
I think that it's high time that we revisit everything that we're trying as an industry, and that includes material innovation. Lightly are incredible innovators who are also part of the incubator, so know them all well, and it's very exciting to see what people are testing at every stage of the life cycle, whether that's in production processes and materials chosen for luminaires, as much as how we can be clever about keeping these luminaires in a building for longer, as well as what we do with components and particular materials after we end a particular design.
So how many companies are in your incubator?
At the moment, we've got over 24, which is really exciting. And sorry, I should say that's the manufacturers involved, and we also have individuals from over 68 different design firms, and they are a wonderful mix of people from every continent. So we do have North America and Europe represented strongly because a lot of the manufacturers are from there, but then we also have peers from Asia, Australia, the Middle East, South Africa, Latin America. It's really exciting.
You tell me if I've got this term correct. EPD? And EPD stands for Environmental Product Declaration, EPD. I interviewed someone this morning, a rep, and we're talking about the reps calling and making sales calls on lighting designers. There's one architect, they told me, they cannot see unless they're coming in to talk about products that have an EPD. Okay? We're not interested in seeing a rep, but if you've got something with an EPD, come talk to us right now.
That's exciting to hear, and I want to hear who they were. But I think we have reached, even in a year since we launched this at LEDucation last year, a lot of momentum starting to pick up, not just within the lighting industry, but filtering down from owners and architects and our interior design friends as well, to learn to ask for this kind of reporting. It's exciting to hear that, we're not the only ones who are thinking about how to filter what is a saturated market of product, and to try and find partners who are investing in the values that we hold as designers as well. So whether or not we're at the point where we can actually complete a whole fixture schedule and a whole project with only products that have environmental product declarations on them, I think we're not there yet by any means, but it's great to hear that some people are being really clear about what they're asking for, because we're also starting to put that into fixture schedules ourselves.
Guian Tremaine from Qtran has told me that the majority of their lighting products have the Declare label. How does EPD relate with Declare?
So Declare is about toxic materials that are included in the making of the luminaire, and that's important. And that is, I think, the material and ingredients credit that you get from LEED allows you to satisfy that credit with Declare and also a few other platforms. So that's important, and we agree that that's very important work to investigate in a supply chain. When we think about material ingredients that are going into our luminaires, it's important to think about not including toxic materials. So people may have heard of the red list, which are particularly bad. Is that bad?
If I may, the red list, is that part of ToxNot?
That's a Declare list as well. So,
Okay.
Basically, with Declare, this is where a lot of people have understood to start in analysing their product and their supply chain and what's going into their product. Thinking about decarbonisation is another angle for looking at your supply chain, and it basically looks at the energy and therefore carbon emissions associated with making the product and then keeping the product maintained and repaired, and then what happens at the end of its life to get it into landfill or a recycling plant or, remanufactured. So they are distinct bits of investigation, but they do dovetail together really well if a manufacturer is trying to understand the real detail of everything that they're doing, and so it makes sense to actually do it together. We did have Declare people speak to the Incubator just last month, and they were recommending that all of this work is complementary. And similarly, if you're going for LEED accreditation on a project, there are separate credits you can get for environmental product declarations and life cycle assessment, distinct from material ingredients credits, which a label like Declare satisfies.
I have heard of jobs now where they're trying to get 3 quotes and they want to have EPDs and they can't. They can't find 3 companies. So it sounds like it's a great commercial opportunity as well.
That's very true, and I am on one of these jobs, which is just, today is with Borealis Lighting Studio, which sits inside BR+A, which is an engineering company. We have 100% construction documents today going out on a job that is 3.3 million square foot in size, and we want to have EPDs on the highest volume products for that, and yes, it's a 3-name spec. We have worked with partners who are willing to get there by submittal phase, so even if they're not quite there yet, they're investing and they're interested, and they'll get there eventually. But you're right, this is still very new for a lot of lighting manufacturers.
Let's think about the future, if I may. This is 2023. Let's say, and we're at the Hilton Midtown. Let's say in 5 years there's another hotel going up in the city, similar in size and scope to this. Where do you envision sustainability will play, or in decarbonization will play in lighting of this new hotel in 5 years?
5 years is close. We have a lot of net zero goals floating around there in the industry, both as New York City with their Climate Mobilization Act, as well as MEP 2040, which is thrust more from the mechanical design side, which is trying to be net zero by 2040. Thinking in 5 years' time, I think it will definitely be groundswell from designers, that is, lighting designers, architects, as we've spoken about, interior designers, caring about activism to a degree from their own perspective, putting it as a selection of products in their fixture schedules and changing the specification sections to be able to allow for that reporting to come through. I think if we're talking about a project that is finishing in 5 years' time, it will be very possible that we will have industry-wide averages for global warming potential, which is the key metric you take out of an environmental product declaration. So we will have 5 key products with an industry average EPD on it by this year end. And in 5 years, we would hope to have more of those and more of the product-specific environmental product declarations as well.
Leela, this has been a great conversation. Do you have any closing comments? Is there something I haven't asked you that I should?
I think that we want to keep working collaboratively with manufacturers and designers across the industry. And so if people are curious but just don't quite know where to start, because I think it is a daunting field, and it feels daunting mainly because it's new, not because it's fundamentally hard to do this analysis. But I would encourage people to reach out and find others who are figuring it out together. And so get in touch with us at the GreenLight Alliance, talk to fellow designers and manufacturers who care about this stuff, and we'll make a lot of progress together faster.
Well, Leela, thank you very much for speaking to me and to our audience.